Check this out. The major thing that separates a good movie director from a great one is that a great director knows how to display their artistic vision from their mind and able to execute it with quality and precision onto the big screen. This includes knowing who to cast to play which specific role in the film, when and where to place the camera for maximum effect, and knowing the right time to yell cut. Which brings me to this video's topic, Gervonta Davis. Because much like a movie director, the difference between people who are able to achieve their dreams, goals, or artistic vision versus the ones who don't is based on the ability of discernment. Knowing who's in your life, what is their purpose, and how much do they matter. For years now, Gervonta Davis has been touting that he's the face of boxing and is comparable and on the same level as one Floyd Mayweather Jr. Legacy and titles are not as important as the purse being made. And to a degree, I agree. News have come that the scheduled exhibition match between Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul has been canceled due to Davis being named in a civil lawsuit regarding domestic allegations. Now, I believe that the fight was canceled due to poor ticket sales, and this was the perfect way for Jake Paul to bail on the event. The angle I want to focus on for this video is Gervonta Davis and this civil lawsuit. So let's look into it. It states, a new civil lawsuit filed in Miami-Dade County has put the WBA lightweight champion in hot water over another alleged domestic incident. According to the lawsuit acquired by ESPN, Davis is accused by ex-girlfriend Courtney Russell of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Hey man, I don't give a damn how good the sex is. She could spread her legs open and have the same thing that was in whatever was in that Pulp Fiction briefcase. Nothing on the planet is worth going through all this. This lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis' previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of 2 of the boxer's 3 children. So mind you, this is not the same woman. The woman from the DV case a few months ago is also the same woman who left chocolate turtles on Gervonta's toothbrush a few years back. They have 2 children together. Also keep in mind that there is a third woman who Gervonta had choked up courtside at a basketball game a few years ago as well. He got a child with her. Let's skip down a bit. According to the complaint, Davis allegedly storms into Tootsie's, the Miami's gentleman club where Russell worked as a VIP cocktail server. Let me stop right here. For those of you that know, Tootsie's is one of the largest strip clubs in the world, Craig. This kind of reminds me of that movie Hustlers, when that little short dude was jealous that his girlfriend was stripping. I mean, in this case, she's a cocktail server, but still, she got to get her money through similar paths. Which brings me back to the main idea of this video. If you're Gervonta Davis, why would you even put yourself in a position to have this level of mental strain of constantly worrying if your girlfriend who works at a strip club is doing something nefarious? You accept a woman for who she is and move accordingly. If he did the right thing, he'd be making anywhere from $40 to $50 million. Continuing on. In the early hours of Monday, so this is after he stormed in the early hours of Monday, and attacked her in a back room of the club that did not have cameras. She says Davis dragged her through a stairwell, kitchen, and the back exit before physically assaulting her in the parking garage. Now, most would say there should never be any reason to hit a woman. I'm going to take it a step further. There should never be any reason to hit anyone if it doesn't involve one of the following, which is organized combat, war, and defending, protecting not only yourself, but also a loved one. So to be objective, I don't know what this woman did or said in the midst of all of this. That's not to exonerate what he did. Based off his previous encounters, the woman he choked courtside was ready to throw hands with him in the hallway. And the woman from the DV case earlier this year, not only did she spit in his face, but she left shit residue on his toothbrush. So it's obvious he's attracted to women who possess these toxic traits, and it allows him to amplify his. Who knows? She could have told him, the reason I didn't answer your phone call last night was because I was at Floyd's house. And that sent his little ass off, allegedly. Or she could have said nothing at all. The point is, after a few interactions, you could tell what kind of person you're dealing with. And then how to move properly with that dynamic. And once you figure that out, it'll lead to situations like this to occur far less. Continuing on, it says, Russell said she was in a 5-month relationship with Davis prior to the incident and cited multiple instances of domestic violence, abuse, and threats made by the fighter concerning her safety and well-being. Russell said in the lawsuit that there were at least 4 previous incidents in which Davis physically assaulted and choked her. On 2 occasions, she says Davis threatened to kill her. You would think one would leave after the first domestic violence incident. Again, I'm not exonerating anything this cat did. All I'm saying is they both seem to be operating under the same frequency. It says the first of the incidents took place September 2nd when Davis allegedly threatened to kill Russell for not responding to his calls and text messages. A second incident took place September 23rd when she says Davis accused her of infidelity and texted, "I'll kill you." Blowing down her line, you the buster type. Again, there is nothing on this planet that is worth any of this. If the brother properly vetted this woman, he would have known how to properly cast her into his life or out of it. It says, later that day, Davis allegedly physically assaulted Russell, choking her in public at Playa Miami, a restaurant in the Lincoln Road shopping district. The suit says that Davis sent Russell a text message after this week's incident stating, "I'm on my way to your house," which Russell interpreted as the boxer heading to her home to continue assaulting her. The lawsuit states that Russell is currently suffering from PTSD, anxiety, and extreme fear while saying that she is living with others because she no longer feels safe alone and is actively seeking therapeutic treatment to address the severe emotional and physical harm caused by Davis. I'm going to stop right there. Due to his lack of discernment, Gervonta has found himself casted as the antagonist, not only to Miss Courtney Russell, but also for Jake Paul and his promotion. And you want to know what? They both have strong credibility. That's what happens when you don't understand your worth. When I listen to the tone and temperament that Gervonta Davis has spoken with all this year through these different interviews, it's been of a guy who seems to be solely about business. All about the Benjamins, one might say. Who cares for titles and legacies when the dollar bill is king? But when it's time to execute your plan to be this cash cow, you still moving like some hood nigga who hasn't got any goddamn sense or direction of where your life's trajectory is supposed to be headed. You contradict your whole messaging by the foolish decisions that not only you decide to make, but continuously make. I remember during the press conference, Floyd Mayweather had pointed out that Gervonta has to clean up his behavior with the law. And Gervonta's trainer, Calvin Ford, decided to bring up that when Floyd was the same age as Gervonta, he was doing the same thing. Which wasn't the point that Floyd was making. Floyd didn't say that so Gervonta could hit the same branches that Floyd hit on the way down. It was so that he could circumvent them and have a better landing than Floyd did, which is perhaps one of the reasons why Floyd is no longer in Gervonta's circle, while Calvin continues to get demoted and disregarded. When you watch the second Davis-Paul press conference, Calvin was left out of the loop on the glove size that would be used during the fight. He did not know that it was Gervonta's camp that decided to use the 12-ounce gloves for the fight, and the man ended up making a damn fool of himself by asking for lighter gloves. It lets you know where exactly Davis and Ford is at on a communication basis. And this is supposed to be the man who's serving as a father figure to Gervonta. So if he's not heeding his counsel or not communicating important details to him, then who exactly is Gervonta Davis listening to? For Gervonta, he's going to have to clean up his act. Seek help. Get therapy. Focus on what matter and what you want out of life. And most importantly, prioritize the Most High first, because everything in the flesh is temporary. Davis needs to be cautious because he's on the verge of becoming a cautionary tale. Will he continue on in a low down dirty shame, or will he ascend to the summit of greatness? That's up for this brother to decide. Hopefully for his and his children's sake, he chooses to be a beacon of constructive light instead of an ambassador of a destructive one. For now, do the science.